Excuse me. Hey gang, welcome back to Big Board. So let's have a quick look at Buuna. With the way the game starts and is set up, you've only got the Aussie 30th Brigade sitting here, and they don't have the punching power, but they do have some steps, which is good to take on this particular base. And this is the what's in there. There were two regiments of infantry in there. Both of them were three-steppers, so it would have been quite the battle for the Aussies to try and push in. They also would be really fighting most of their battles on the nasty end of the scale, on the CRT on the far left-hand side, and it's just not going to end well for them. So there's no opportunity there for a ground action early in the game. What needs to happen is one of the American divisions, which is significantly more steps, number one, and then number two has just one step better quality rating, which interestingly enough makes a significant difference. In fact, let me just look at that real quick, and I'll tell you. 6, and we were fighting a 6. Yeah, so I would push it up one column, but that's going to keep us in the 6th column, which is a decent column, allowing us to inflict some losses on the Japanese. So my point about all that is we didn't do any ground actions when I said I was going to do these extra battle cycles that I didn't do up here. So we focused on the air war, and that ended up being pretty successful. In 2 cycles, we took out all the aircraft here and damaged the base, put 5 steps of losses on it. In the meantime, the Japanese do have 1, 2 brigades here, battalions of troops here, and 1 regiment of engineers. They're looking on thinking, not too excited about what's going on there. So the decision by the Japanese to load one of these regiments and stick it on a task force and head south towards Guadalcanal is a mistake. And I think we're falling into the problem that perhaps the Japanese did historically is, oh man, we got to capture or recapture Guadalcanal. And I think the tactic here is let the Americans have Guadalcanal. It's down here somewhere. There we go. Let them have Guadalcanal. They managed to secure it and clear it in the first operation, assuming I did everything correctly. And in this particular campaign, Buuna is the big other VP location. That and obviously accumulated losses. So I think what the Japanese will probably do is move this task force back, drop these guys off, reinforce this. I would like to get any replacements or reinforcements pushed into into Leh here, and that then sets us up to either reinforce Buuna or potentially make an attack on Port Moresby. That gives us a little bit more flexibility. And then I think what we'll do is one of my other task forces as the Japanese will start pushing them across through North Britain, which is just here, through this area here, looking to provide naval support for Buuna, while the CVs go hunting for what is going to be task forces that will, once the US has done its thing in terms of bringing more troops in and bringing in the additional reinforcements that they have coming. They've got more CVs coming. Once they head up this way in force, we'll see if we can't try and isolate a CV and at least sink 1 or 2 of them and see how things pan out from there. So that's kind of the game plan for the Japanese. The Yanks, I mean, really what they need to do is, because they don't have any forces down here that are worth transporting, they really need to get transportation capability from here over to Port Moresby and move forces into there to reinforce it, because it's looking pretty thin on the ground. Now I do have more air allocated in Port Moresby, or allocated to Port Moresby. So they've got a pretty decent set of air. There's some bombers in there, torpedo guys, and then obviously fighters as well, but from both the US and the Aussies. And there are a couple of ships hanging out here just to reinforce them. I think that's going to have, what is that, 5? No, it's 6. That's the 2 Australian ships, Perth. They're CLs, so light cruisers, right? Anyway, so that's what's going on. We're going to keep at this until this new game arrives, which, is going to be a couple of days, I think. So we'll try and get to a point where we can wrap this up, and we'll just, we'll put it on, hit pause, and set this up again at some other point. But I've got 2 or 3 new titles coming in that I will need to sort of get after, and we'll go for it from there. All right, guys, all the best.